If you could avoid the hottest part of the day, that would be great. Also, you definitely want to find shade where you can.
Well, you can try to avoid the hottest part of the day today, but the fact is most of today will be extremely hot. We're going to have details on cooling shelters and your full Monday weather impact alert forecast coming up. Plus,
she absolutely loved Portland, and more than anything, she loved Portland soccer.
Local parents are honoring their daughter after she was killed overseas. How the Portland Thorns helped make it happen.
And later this hour, researchers make a new discovery involving a gourmet food ingredient found here in Oregon. Because of this discovery, black truffles are getting a new name. We'll explain coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill standing by, except today Rod Hill also has a new name. He will now be known, because of today's extreme heat, as Hot Rod Hill.
Well, that's not
Hot Rod Hill.
Hot Rod. I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I like it. Of course, I wouldn't mind being known as Mr. Cool either. Here's a look at Snookwynn's Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. We've had shallow fog, it's kind of murky over the water, but clear up top, and this will be another day with temperatures in the 70s and a few spots hitting 80 at the beach, which was the case yesterday. 54 is the early morning number in Lincoln City. We are now warming up. We were in the 60s. Portland, 71 is your 8 o'clock temperature. It looks like about 85 degrees at noon today. And then we'll be up into the 90s in the 1 o'clock hour. I have us at 99. We could hit 100, obviously. 99 was the high out at the airport yesterday. So, again, same drill, Chris. You know, seek some shade, get things done early this morning. Lots of water if you're going to be outside.
It is very noticeable, by the way, if you want to do a walk or something in the afternoon at Forest Park. That is a great place to be on the cool side. Several degrees cooler there despite the heat. Okay, let's get you out the door. A quick look at the drives. Inbound Sunset right now about 25 minutes from Hillsborough. There's your I-5 drive from Clark County. It's busy, but moving at the Interstate Bridge. Nothing out of the ordinary right now on the roads. That number has jumped up a little bit in the last little while. We're up to 18 minutes to get you in from Main Street. Some traffic alerts. We'll talk more about these in just a couple of minutes. Southwest Vista Bridge closed throughout the week for maintenance. Highway 219 in Hillsborough closed round the clock for railroad maintenance. And the 42nd Avenue Bridge, guys, I'll have more on this coming up in my next hit in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Portland Metro counties are making preparations to help people beat the heat over the next couple of days.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has been covering this story for us all morning long. There he is again, live in downtown Portland along the waterfront. Thomas, before we get to ways you can beat the heat today, can we just talk about how warm it is outside right now? I imagine it still feels pretty comfortable at this hour.
Yeah, Drew, right now it's pretty comfortable. We're getting a slight breeze, and honestly, a little bit of that breeze from that splash pad. Now, later today, that's going to be a key place to go. Once we start to see the heat that is reach mid-90s, upper 90s, of course, that high expected around 99 today. Depending on which county you're in the metro area, they may have a different approach, so that's important to note today as well. Clackamas County has cooling centers open today, and that's really countywide. So we're talking places like Happy Valley, Oregon City, Westland, Milwaukee, and others all throughout the county. Officials, of course, are also saying it's really important to stay hydrated today and drink a lot of water. In your homes, close curtains or blinds as well. That prevents the sun from getting into your home and keeps the heat out a little bit. If you do have air conditioning or you can access air conditioning, go ahead and do so today. Of course, you're going to want that AC with those sweltering temperatures today. If you can't access air conditioning and you're in Clackamas County, don't worry, cooling centers are open there, and officials say they're going to have plenty of supplies for you as well.
We have hydration packs, we have some popsicles, water, just stuff to cool off with.
Now, Washington County and Multnomah County are doing things a little bit differently. In Washington County, splash pads in libraries are open to access. Of course, those libraries have AC. Multnomah County did not open cooling centers yesterday, though they do say 3 libraries, including the one downtown, Central Library, did extend their hours. So once again, good places to get air conditioning as well in Multnomah County. And along with staying hydrated, Multnomah County officials say people should try to stay inside if you have AC in the hottest parts of the day. Also, if you go out and about, wear loose-fitting clothes.
So this is really the start of this event, so we want people to think about what they're doing really for the next 2 days as well.
So again, right here downtown along the waterfront here in Portland, splash pads are open. They've been kicking up since around 5 o'clock this morning, so this thing's been going in full force all morning long, guys. Also really important to know, today you want to check on your family and friends, especially if they don't have air conditioning, especially if they have health conditions or a little bit older. Those people are more vulnerable and susceptible to the extreme heat like we're going to see today. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there this morning in downtown Portland. Meanwhile, police arrested a man last night after a 2-hour standoff at a home in southeast Portland, where they say a woman was found dead inside. So this happened near Southeast 170th and Harrison. Police say around 6:30 last night, a man called 911 to report that a woman was dead in the home. When they got there, police say that the man was armed and he wouldn't come out. The crisis negotiation team was called, and the man came out on his own at around 9 o'clock. Police say that's when they arrested him and then took him to the hospital for medical care.
We were just at her grandpa's house minding our business. We heard a boom, a loud crash. We seen the police sirens. We were like, what's going on? Because we've been around here and we never known it to be this active.
We want to thank people living and working in this area. We understand that when we come in to operations like this, when we're bringing a lot of vehicles, we shut down streets. That's an inconvenience to people in this area, and we really appreciate everyone's patience.
Police confirmed that they did find a woman dead inside that home, and they also say they found a gun in the home.
In McMinnville, police ended up finding drugs, cash, and guns while responding to a car crash over the weekend. So listen to this. Just before 9 p.m. Saturday, police responded to a crash after a woman said that her car was rear-ended while waiting at a traffic light. Officers determined that the at-fault driver, 30-year-old Jose Andelon, was intoxicated. When looking inside his car, they found all that on your screen: cocaine, Xanax, $2,900 in cash, and 2 guns. Andelon was arrested on charges including DUI, possession of a controlled substance, among other charges.
Portland police arrested a man on Saturday who allegedly slashed the tires of at least 3 cars that afternoon. This happened over on East Burnside near MLK Jr. Boulevard. A witness told officers that 46-year-old Jason Garrettson was screaming and running through traffic with a knife, so police locked the area down before they arrested Garrettson.
A Washington state employee and her 6-year-old son are currently sitting in an ICE detention facility in Texas after the two were detained while trying to cross the Canadian border to go back home to Everett. Sarah Shaw had dropped off 2 of her kids at the Vancouver airport when she was detained by ICE along with her 6-year-old son. The family is from New Zealand, and Sarah was reauthorized to work in the U.S., but permission to travel was still pending. Her attorney calls this a simple administrative error.
Anyone could have made it. I told her that, yes, that's true. You don't have a travel document, but you've only been gone about a day. Explain what happened to the immigration officials.
You never think it's going to happen to you. I think the main thing she has expressed this whole time is just absolute shock and just devastation, because she really did feel like she had done everything that was required of her.
Sarah's 2 other kids in New Zealand will fly back next month and be in the care of their family friends while the situation plays out.
A policy change to Care Oregon means thousands of people in the state could lose access to behavioral health treatment and to their therapists. Care Oregon is changing its rules for non-contracted providers because of what the organization calls, quote, sweeping federal Medicaid cuts from President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. So the move could impact up to 15,000 people, and it's set to take effect here in October. Care Oregon says they will reach out to impacted members to help them transition to a new provider.
The local farmers market in Hillsdale is planning a thank you event after its truck was stolen and damaged beyond repair in March, which led to the community stepping up in a big way. So organizers say the community rallied to raise money to help the farmers market bounce back. Now equipped with a new truck, the market is set to host a community paint day as a thank you to those who helped make it possible. People of all ages are encouraged to participate in helping paint a mural on the new truck.
We just wanted to make it kind of give back in a little bit of way, and something that people can then say years from now, hey, I was a part of that. I helped create that. So that was really the thinking behind having a community paint day.
And the exact date for the paint day will be posted to their social media pages soon. No art experience is needed to help for this. Paint and brushes will also be provided.
I hear you chuckling back there, Rod Hill.
They don't want me there, let me say. Guys, Rod can't paint. We've got a problem. Go talk to him.
Your stick figures are so three-dimensional.
You know, and maybe you could be there to encourage others, too. You could be like a cheer or honor type of
Woo!
person. Yeah,
I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
Can I get this, or I want to make sure I have this right. Yesterday, hottest day of the year in Portland.
Yes, so
Today,
far.
we might meet that again. And then tomorrow, the same drill?
Yeah, pretty much.
3 in a row?
you know, in a perfect world of forecasting, today's the same as yesterday, within a degree or two either way. Tomorrow should be a couple degrees cooler than whatever we end up being today. And the barometer we're looking at was 101 in Salem yesterday. PDX at 99 yesterday. Not a record, but the warmest day that we've had so far this year. So today we're going to be right there. Obviously, we could pop 100. We'll see. The record, I think, is at least in play. It's 102 today, back in the hot summer of 1977. And then tomorrow we got it's 96. I don't think the record tomorrow's in play, 104. And then full confidence that we will break out of this and cool significantly on Wednesday with highs just getting up into the 80s. So the extreme heat warning is up today and tomorrow for the Valley, Clark County in Southwest Washington, through the Gorge and down into Central Oregon. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, where 100-degree temps are expected today with light winds and clear skies. You've got 73 right now. They got the sprinklers going out on the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha, where it is 71. We are now warming in the 8 o'clock hour. Hillsboro 74, Wilsonville still 69. Downtown Portland holding at 67. KGW reported 96 yesterday, by the way, here at the TV station. 70 in Kaiser, 75 degrees in Salem. Here's your map. So 70s and some 80s at the coast. Look at the 101 Salem, 100 Albany, 101 Eugene. Portland upper 90s to maybe 100. Easily into the hundreds out in the Dalles. It shows 104. Madras 100. Bend could do it at 99. Pendleton probably hits 100. This shows at 5 o'clock, 99 degrees. So all inland areas are going to be hot, some just worse than others. So the impact alert is through tomorrow. It's going to end up being a 3-day heat wave, which is the first time we will go beyond back-to-back days. 99, 96. There's the big drop. Wednesday, 82. Morning clouds, 75 on Thursday. Possibly developing showers on Friday. And right now, what looks to be just a rainy Saturday with temperatures back down to 73. And of course, that will feel pretty good. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I wanted to get you updated on a couple of traffic alerts, significant traffic alerts for the week ahead. Starting today, this morning, with the Southwest Vista Bridge, Highway 219 in Hillsboro, and the Northeast 42nd Avenue Bridge. So we'll pick it up in Hillsboro. First Avenue is closed 24/7, round the clock, for repairs to the Portland and Western Railroad crossings. So just be aware of this. This is a lengthy detour. Photojournalist Eric Patterson was just out there, and he said traffic was backed up for quite a while on Maple this morning getting around this. The detour is Minter Bridge Road to TV Highway to Minter Bridge Road to Grable Road. Again, that's a round-the-clock closure of that railroad crossing until the end of the week. Also in Southwest Portland, the Vista Bridge closed from 7 to 5 each day this week. PBOT doing some bridge maintenance. This is one that's pretty impactful. 11,000 cars and trucks use that bridge every day, so be aware your detour is likely using Southwest Montgomery. And a lengthy detour around this closure. The 42nd Avenue Bridge, Northeast 42nd Avenue over Lombard, closes for 2 years starting today as PBOT does seismic upgrades, widening the area, and also adding some multi-use paths. The detour to get around this one is about 3.5 miles. Takes you down Killingsworth, the 82nd, or Cully. So in the Cully neighborhood, that's going to add some time to folks' commute. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. The Thorns pay tribute to one of their biggest fans over the weekend, a woman who tragically died last year while traveling overseas. How the team remembered her, coming up. Also ahead.
The White House is preparing for a critical meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, the latest on whether Ukraine's president will join the talks.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It was a touching tribute during yesterday's Thorns game. The team honored a nurse practitioner from Providence St. Vincent who was killed while traveling in Europe last year.
She was a big soccer fan and a big Thorns fan. KGW's Jake Holter has more on what her family, friends, and the team did to remember her.
She absolutely loved Portland, and more than anything, she loved Portland soccer.
Kenzie Machowski's parents, Bill and Jill, waving a Thorns jersey with their daughter's name on it to cheering fans as she is honored at Sunday's game.
We were just completely blown away. It took a little bit of time to process an honor so great.
Kenzie was killed while traveling abroad in Hungary last year. The man police say is responsible confessed and is awaiting trial. Kenzie was a neurosurgery nurse practitioner at Providence St. Vincent Medical Center, where her mom Jill says she touched many lives.
She really could connect with people on so many different levels and make them feel comfortable at a time when you're in the hospital and it's a very scary time. So that was a huge gift that she had.
Her dad Bill tells us that the idea to honor her at a Thorns game came about from friends and coworkers of hers who felt she needed to be properly honored. And what better way than at a Portland Thorns game?
She would snap snippets when they'd score the goals and the smoke would go off. And for a tiny little girl, you could really hear her cheering that team on.
They say it was such a wonderful tribute to their daughter's life.
Kenzie would be so honored to be remembered this way and to have the Thorns do this for her. It's just very moving, and we're just so happy and thankful and grateful to the people of Portland for that. Portland was her happy place. So
Jake Holter, KGW News.
Back to our top headline of the morning. It is a weather impact alert day here at KGW. Another hot day, just like we had yesterday.
So, yes, 3-day event, yesterday, today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, you would think won't be as hot, but still we're talking mid to upper 90s. And then just like that, we're fighting to get up into the 80s Wednesday. So we got 2 days to get through. This is the list of some of the main reporting site cities from yesterday. Salem hit 101. First time this summer, of course, we've had triple-digit heat in the valley. Hillsboro did 100. Portland stopped at 99 out at the airport. Vancouver 99. Astoria had 82. The hottest was 101. Today, the hottest in the valley could be 102. Within a degree or so, we're going to be very similar. The extreme heat warning that the Weather Service has up, which basically means you could hit 100 where you are, extends from Cottage Grove up I-5 into Clark County, holding in the 90s and a heat advisory up in Kelso, Longview, and Cowlitz County. But the 100-degree threat is in the gorge and also down into Central Oregon. So that's the heat warning map from our friends at the National Weather Service. Some live sky cameras for you. We've made a rapid temperature jump. We've already warmed up 8, 9, 10 degrees in some spots from what the actual lows were this morning. Salem was down in the mid-60s, already up to 75 degrees. Portland dipped into the upper 60s, currently standing at 71 out at the airport. It is mainly clear now at the coast, just some shallow fog being reported. Astoria hit 82 yesterday, again 60 right now, and you could hit 80 again this afternoon. It's warm up in Seattle, 73, where temps will be 90 degrees or better up that direction as well, or at least close to it. 73 in the Dow, 62 out in Baker City. Big story is the temperature. So here we go. Early shallow fog, otherwise mainly sunny at the beach. Northwest winds 5 to 15, 70s up to about 80 or 82 expected. In the valley, absolutely expecting another day with 100-degree temperature reports. This shows McMinnville at 101, Salem at 102, and Corvallis at 101. North wind direction 5 to 15, similar to yesterday. Southwest Washington could hit 100. This shows 98 Longview, 99 Battleground, 99 Vancouver. And I put up a matching temperature for Portland from yesterday, 99. But again, we could get up to 100. 96 tomorrow, and then there's the big drop, and we're done with the heat. 82 Wednesday, morning clouds, 70s on Thursday. A shower threat increasing during the afternoon hours on Friday, in a front that right now looks to be likely rain, including right from the early morning hours on Saturday, and then drying on Sunday and back to 77. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up in the Hollywood district. It looks like we've got a crash right now on the ramp from Cesar Chavez onto westbound I-84. We'll go ahead and bring this up to you. Portland Fire and Rescue on the scene. You can see Portland Police as well. No word on injuries or the extent here, but traffic does appear to be getting by, kind of squeezing over into the right lane. Meanwhile, the drive, this backup necessarily not related to that, but the drive is pretty thick on Interstate 84. Again, that's out near Providence Medical Center there. And door number 4 takes us south of town. I-5 and northbound traffic near Capitol Highway, or I should say near the Twilliger curves. As you round the curve there, you got the sun right in your face. So that's definitely not helping that part of the commute. That said, it's not bad getting in from Wilsonville. 22 minutes from bridge to bridge, from the Boone Bridge to the Markham. Inbound Sunset right now, about a 20-minute ride from Hillsborough. China.
Thank you, Chris. Still ahead on Sunrise, a dramatic video from an onboard Royal Caribbean cruise ship after a glass water slide shattered while guests were using it. What we're learning about the guest that was injured ahead in your morning rush.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Later this week, President Donald Trump and President Vladimir Putin are set to meet and to discuss a possible end to Russia's war with Ukraine.
President Trump suggested the two sides swap territories, but Ukraine's on the record saying it's not giving up any of its land. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest on this from Washington, D.C.
Preparations are underway for high-stakes talks at the end of the week aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine. President Trump set to meet Friday with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, with the potential for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to join.
The only way to make peace is to sit down and talk.
Vice President J.D. Vance met in England over the weekend with top Ukrainian officials and European allies, talking through Ukraine's peace proposals as Russia keeps up its punishing attacks. President Zelensky has said Ukraine will not give up its land to occupiers, something President Trump said may be necessary.
There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both.
White House Special Envoy Keith Kellogg heads to Ukraine today to continue talks. As a senior U.S. official tells NBC News, the White House is considering inviting President Zelensky to the Alaska meeting, though Russia's leader has said Ukraine was far from meeting its conditions for face-to-face talks. Democrats pressing for a Ukrainian presence and criticizing the location.
Putin is a war criminal. This is not a show of strength to allow him to fly into the United States.
Republicans pushing back, while some are calling for more protections for Ukraine.
Security guarantees to Ukraine to prevent Russia from doing this again.
President Trump heads into the meeting having sharply shifted his tone toward more vocal criticism of President Putin and threats of added sanctions, increasingly frustrated as the Russian assault drags on. The leaders of several European nations reaffirmed they're, quote, committed to the principle that international borders must not be changed by force. As the NATO Secretary General said, any territory Ukraine may concede must not be legally recognized as part of Russia under international law. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety.
That's President Trump announcing this morning that he will deploy National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. The move is part of the president's campaign against crime in the nation's capital. President Trump says the troops will support local law enforcement by targeting known gangs and criminal networks. Also earlier this morning, a federal judge denied a request from the U.S. Department of Justice to unseal grand jury materials in the criminal case of Ghislaine Maxwell. The judge says those materials do not identify anyone other than Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell as having had sexual contact with a minor. Really scary moment on board this Royal Caribbean cruise line, the icon of the seas. Take a look, a glass water slide there breaks. Someone was inside the slide at the time. Video taken by passengers shows water gushing through a large hole. Passengers below were shouting for help. The cruise line says a glass panel broke off as an adult guest was going through the slide last Thursday. That guest was injured, but we're told they're in stable condition this morning. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Portland police are looking for the driver who hit a cyclist on the way to Sunday's bridge pedal and then took off. Coming up in our next half hour, the truck that they want you to be on the lookout for as a cyclist tries to recover. Plus, the latest on severe storms and flooding that inundated the Midwest and canceled the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. Battleground police are asking people to keep an eye out for this silver minivan. They say earlier this month, the two males between the ages of 16 and 20 drove up to two juveniles and tried to lure them into the van. This was in a neighborhood off Northeast 142nd Avenue and 10th. The victim said that the two might have been armed. Police believe that the vehicle is either a Toyota Sienna or a Honda Odyssey. If you have any information, call the number there on your screen, 360-342-5200. Headed over to Rod Hill on this Weather Impact Alert Day.
Yeah, impact alert obviously for the hot weather. Extreme heat warnings out for the Valley, Clark County, the Gorge, and Central Oregon through the day tomorrow. Here's the Salem Sky Camera, and already pretty impressive warm-up. We're only in the 8 o'clock hour, of course. We're up to 75 after being in the mid-60s. Portland, 71 degrees, but warming, and our planner, 85 at noon, so take advantage, obviously, of the AM hours, and then 99, maybe 100 degrees for a high temperature today, still well into the 90s tomorrow.
8:30 in the morning on this Monday, and we are talking about a weather impact alert day here at KGW as we give you a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam showing off downtown Portland. The heat is going to be here today and once again tomorrow, just like it was yesterday. A lot of areas around Portland could see 100 degrees later today. All right, let's bring Rodney, Chris, China Green into the mix here. We've got a lot to cover, guys. Rob, we start with you.
Well, the coast will offer some relief if you have the time and the means to get there. You will find temperatures primarily in the 70s to low 80s. Right now, our Snook Winds Casino Resort camera is showing basically blue skies and 55 degrees. Inland areas already up into the low 70s in Portland at 71 degrees. And it looks like the comfort to be over before noon as we have 85 degrees at noon. Could be hitting 90 in the 1 o'clock hour, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. All really hot, 99 degrees at 5 p.m. Now, like yesterday, relative humidity in the heat of the afternoon will be running at about 25%, which actually is low enough to produce a heat index that's 1 to 2 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. So at least we don't have that added impact like humid areas do east of the Rocky Mountains. This does show us upper 90s in Portland today. Again, we hit 99 yesterday. We'll be right there. 101 in Salem, 100 in Albany, 101 in Eugene, Madras at 101. The Dow's 104. Again, Valley, Clark County, Gorge, Central Oregon in the extreme heat warning from our friends of the Weather Service. And this will be an event that extends into a third day tomorrow. 96, maybe warmer, but not hitting 100. And then Wednesday, 82. Thursday, all the way down to 75 as we're completely out of it. And if you've seen raindrops on your phone, the likelihood is there developing late Friday and especially during the day on Saturday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up with a traffic alert in the Hollywood district right now. It looks like the 33rd Avenue on-ramp to westbound 84. A car has gone into the median there. I did see fire there just a few minutes ago. It looks like I should say Portland Fire and Rescue, not a fire. There a couple minutes ago, but it looks like traffic is getting around this. We'll keep you posted if that winds up being a closure. The westbound commute still busy getting out of the Hollywood district and west. 20 minutes now gets you in from Hillsborough, from Troutdale west to the I-5 split. We'll switch gears and show you the drive through North Portland. That too is pretty slow. The end of the line has made its way out of Clark County though, so we're clear on the Vancouver side of the interstate bridge. You hit the Expo Center though and you hit the brakes. About 15 minutes now, your time from bridge to bridge from the interstate to the Fremont. China?
Thank you, Chris. Your time now is 8:32, and Portland metro counties are making preparations to help people beat the heat over the next couple of days. John Adams has the latest.
With temperatures hovering around triple digits on Sunday, buildings around the area opened their doors to help people stay cool. One of those locations was the Letting Library in Milwaukee.
We have hydration packs, we have some popsicles, water, just stuff to cool off with.
This was just one of several centers that opened in Clackamas County on Sunday. Centers in Happy Valley, Oregon City, West Lynn, and Wilsonville were also activated.
Come inside, take a break, cool off, hydrate, relax, get your sorts in order, and then go about your day.
Multnomah County did not open cooling centers on Sunday, but did extend hours at 3 local libraries.
Libraries were already open, but we extended hours in Central, in Albina, as well as Midland.
Chris Voss, Director of Emergency Management with Multnomah County, gave these tips for people to stay safe when temperatures reach dangerous levels.
If you could avoid the hottest part of the day, that would be great. Also, you definitely want to find shade where you can. Think of like loose fit clothing as well, and stay really hydrated, and I think that'll help people.
Voss says these tips are especially important with conditions expected to stay dangerous through Tuesday evening.
So this is really the start of this event, so we want people to think about what they're doing really for the next 2 days as well.
In other news this morning, Portland police are looking for the driver who hit a bicyclist on their way to Bridge Pedal on Sunday morning on the Morrison Bridge. The cyclist was seriously injured but is expected to survive. Police have released this image of the truck involved in the crash. Police say that the driver left the scene and hasn't been found. So we're told that the suspect's car is believed to be a white Toyota Tundra pickup, four-door crew cab with black wheels and no license plate. Police also say that there was possible damage on the car's front grille. Anyone with information is asked to contact Portland Police.
There were 2 other crashes over the weekend that sent at least 2 people to the hospital. Both of these crashes involved impaired drivers. Police say the first one happened just after midnight on Sunday. It involved 3 cars near Northeast MLK and Prescott Street and left 1 person hospitalized with serious injuries. One of the drivers was a 17-year-old boy who left the scene, but investigators say his dad brought him back and he was booked into juvenile detention. About 2 hours later, officers were called to Northeast Airport Way and Mason Street, where they found a truck that was wrapped around a tree. You see the pictures right there on your screen. The driver was ejected, was critically injured, but we're told he is expected to survive.
Battleground police are asking people to keep an eye out for this silver minivan. They say earlier this month, 2 males between the ages of 16 and 20 drove up to 2 other juveniles and tried to lure them into a van. This was in the neighborhood off Northeast 142nd Avenue and 10th. The victim said that the 2 might have been armed. Police believe the vehicle is either a Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey. If you have any information, call that number on your screen, 360-342-5200.
The family of a man who fell unconscious in the back of a Coos Bay police car and then died is suing the city and the officers who responded to that call.
They claim an officer spent time texting and checking TikTok while the man was slumped over in his seat. Alma McCarty has the details.
I think it'll be a long time before there's healing there.
Healing for the family of Nathan Bradford Smith, a 33-year-old man who died a little more than a year ago.
It's galling, nonetheless. And so they're struggling.
According to a newly filed wrongful death lawsuit, this interaction, recorded by dash camera, wasn't the first time Coos Bay police had interacted with Smith that day. Here's Juan Chavez, the lead attorney on the case.
I believe at least one of these officers had encountered him earlier in the day and understood that he was using substances at that time, and that he was likely facing mental and physical health issues at that time.
This time, a 911 caller told dispatch they were concerned about Smith, lying partially in the roadway and flailing around.
He had the opportunity at that moment to be taken to a hospital that was a mile away, and instead he was put into the back of a police car.
Watch your elbow.
Smith can be heard in the video breathing quickly and heavily. In the lawsuit, attorneys point out the window didn't roll down. Smith was wearing a heavy coat and rain pants, and his temperature was 107.3. The officer transporting him drove not to the hospital, but to the police department, as Smith slumped further down in his seat. Once at the station, the officer left him there, and according to court documents, replied to texts and scrolled on TikTok upstairs.
That was crucial time for somebody to have come in and rescued him. Instead, he was left there to die. There was a 40-minute delay in getting him critical medical assistance. The EMTs did what they could to try to aggressively cool him, but it was too late.
The civil rights action against the city of Coos Bay and the officers involved calls the treatment of Smith unconstitutional, negligent, and abusive. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
2 local search and rescue volunteers who spent more than 2 weeks in Texas are back home. They're members of Columbia County's search and rescue program and were part of the search for victims of last month's deadly floods in central Texas.
It was devastating to see all the devastation with not only the buildings and against the people, but also just the landscape that was destroyed.
The Columbia County Search and Rescue Program is part of the Sheriff's Office in Columbia County, but it's volunteer driven and it's donor supported.
In honor of today, August 11th, also known as National 811 Day, local utility providers are reminding folks to be safe when digging and doing yard work. So Northwest Natural says its crews respond to hundreds of damaged gas lines each year because people accidentally hit them while digging. So they're reminding you to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig so someone can locate utility lines for free. If you're using small hand tools or digging less than a foot deep, you do not have to call.
Researchers say they've discovered that the Oregon black truffle is actually its own unique species and native to the Pacific Northwest. So chefs are willing to pay hundreds of dollars, we know, per pound for these kinds of truffles. Experts had long believed that the Oregon truffle was originally from Europe because it looks very similar to those found across the Atlantic. But new genetic testing shows that the Oregon truffle is actually different.
I'm really excited to finally get some real recognition for our Oregon truffles. I think they hold a lot of importance for this region, and over time, I think they will only rise in popularity.
Researchers are now giving the Oregon truffle a new scientific name that honors the Cascade region.
Time now is 8:40.
8:40.
Okay, we're going to go over to Chris McGinnis for a look at traffic. We got some closures to talk about.
Yeah, we do. We've got several traffic alerts to pass along. I wanted to start off with Southwest Vista Avenue, the Vista Bridge. Photojournalist Eric Patterson is on the scene. That closure was set to kick in at 7 a.m. Looks like PBOT's giving everybody a little bit of a reprieve. I'll step out of the way. You can see one of or two of those 11,000 vehicles a day that use the bridge. So the skinny on this is that PBOT has to do some bridge maintenance. And to do that, they're going to have to close the bridge from 7 to 5 each day this week. So significantly impacting a lot of folks that use that bridge. Again, it's open for right now, but I expect that'll be closing pretty soon. Another closure in Hillsborough, First Avenue, also known as Highway 219, closed at the railroad crossing. This is a 24/7 closure here around the clock through Friday so that the Portland and Western Railroad can do some repairs to the crossing there. The detour is a lengthy one. It takes you out TV Highway to Minter Bridge Road to Grable Road. So just know that's going to add some time to your commute. And last but not least, in Northeast Portland, the 42nd Avenue Bridge in Cully. This is over Northeast Lombard. That closes. The 2-year closure starts today. And the detour around that one is a lengthy one as well. It takes you out to Killingsworth, Cully, or 82nd Avenue. So that'll add some time to your commute here over the next 2 years. Guys, back to you.
All right, Chris, good update right there. Coming up next here in the Sunrise Show, we're talking severe weather in the Midwest. More flash flooding in that part of the country. We're going to take a look at all the damage that flooding has caused.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and we hope you've been joining us for The Story each weeknight at 6:30. If you've got a story idea of your own, email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Severe storms struck the Midwest this weekend, dumping around a foot of rain on Milwaukee, causing flooding that canceled the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair and damaging a Nebraska prison, so much so that the inmates had to be moved. NBC's Maggie Vespa has the latest.
Hey there, it was a harrowing weekend here in Wisconsin. 14.5 inches of rain in 24 hours, a potential record. Coming in hard, coming in fast, swelling rivers and streams like the Fox River behind me. You can see it's still up and over that pedestrian walkway. This caution tape clearly here for a reason. And then we move over here, you can see how high it is, how fast it's moving. Floodwaters just surging into neighborhoods, flooding homes, submerging cars, water rescues stacking up by the dozen over the weekend. The State Fair in Wisconsin had to close early, people wading through the water to get out of there. And this is other wild weather kicks up across the country. We saw severe winds from South Carolina, beach umbrellas flying into the ocean during a reported water spout there. Nebraska, a roof being torn off of a prison. In Denver, severe storms throwing a wrench into summer air travel. Close to 70 flights canceled, 1,000 delayed out of that airport on Sunday alone. And then finally, of course, we are watching the wildfires and the extreme heat out west. Fires burning in Colorado, Arizona, California. Evacuation orders being issued in Colorado. The sky was thick with smoke. One person posting, "It feels like Armageddon." Back here in Wisconsin, the good news is a lot of these flood alerts expiring throughout the day today, bringing relief here as people, frankly, begin to dry out. Back to you.
You know that we covered earlier in our show the roof off the prison in Nebraska from a tornado with estimated winds that were, I didn't see the report, but just by the roof damage, you would assume they were about 130 miles per hour. To me, what's scary there is the Wisconsin video. Now, this time of the year, you get thunderstorms tracking up across the northern states of our country over the heat ridges. That's where the normal track is. But there's been a growing tendency for those storms that used to dump 3 inches to all of a sudden dump 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 inches of rain. And it happens so quickly that you get flooding that just comes out of nowhere.
Right. Well, Maggie mentioned 14.5 inches in 24 hours.
In that particular event. Yeah. And that's going to produce what you just saw. Our big story, not water, but hot weather with the blazing sun. We have the extreme heat warning up through tomorrow. So this is going to end up being a 3-day event. Obviously, yesterday was day 1. PDX hit 99 yesterday. Salem hit 101. First triple-digit temperatures of the year that we've seen here in the Willamette Valley. And today we're going to be in this range of a few spots might get stuck in the mid-90s. Downtown Portland was 96 yesterday to as hot as 102. The big cool down comes Wednesday. But it's this pinkish tone from Cottage Grove up into Clark County, through the gorge, and into Central Oregon, where temperatures could hit 100 degrees. And that's where the extreme heat warnings are. So I mentioned yesterday PDX at 99. Now remember, individual records are tied to the actual date. And yesterday's date back in 1981 had a record high of 107. So we didn't do that. Now today's record is at least in play. I'm forecasting 99. We could hit 100. It's meteorologically possible we'd hit 102, so we'll keep an eye on that back in 1977. I don't think tomorrow's record's in play. I'm forecasting 96, so I think at the hottest tomorrow, it would be about 98 degrees. And then we have the big cool-off coming on Wednesday. So we got to get through today. We got to get through tomorrow. Hottest hours are 3, 4, 5, and 6 o'clock to avoid being out in the direct heat. If the heat tends to really bother you, you don't deal with it well. Hat, sunscreen. Water is what the doctors still say is the best liquid to hydrate yourself with. All right, Chehalen Tasting Room in Sherwood. Beautiful sunny morning, but it is warming up, and I think you can already feel that warmth of the air mass. 75 out in Sherwood. Timberline is at 70. The Lodge at 6,000 feet hit 80 yesterday and could go as warm as 84 today. So not as hot up in the high country, but it could still be 90 at Government Camp. So it's not exactly a cool parade up there, if you will. Our state capitol, already up to 75. That's after being in the mid-60s earlier this morning, so a rapid warm-up there. Portland sitting at 71. Here are the other temps. Sunshine at the coast. Still some really shallow fog pockets, but it will be a sunny day. Astoria 60 after hitting that 82 yesterday. Could be 80 again today. 77 over in Bend in the extreme heat warning for potential temperatures of 100 degrees. 62 currently out in Baker City. Valley numbers, weather model loves 102 for you in Salem today. Again, your high yesterday was 101. Southwest Washington nearing 100 degrees, either getting there or just stopping at 98 and 99. I've got Portland again at 99, but we could hit 100. 96 tomorrow, then we're done with the heat. 82 Wednesday, 75 Thursday. Chance of rain showers developing Friday, and likely rain at this point this coming Saturday. And now it is birthday time. Earlier in the show, we wished our own China Green a happy birthday. You know what she looks like. She did, right? Picture China. All right, let's get to our other photos. Diello is 50 today. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Great smile there. Rhonda, great smile as well. Celebrating 66 years young. And we've got another one for you. There's Linda. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great time with your friends and family. Looks like you've got some family photos there in the background. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. Let's get you out the door with a quick look at the drive. Wow, this, really improved in the last 15 minutes here. We were bumper to bumper here up near the Expo Center on I-5, and now the end of the line has pushed a little farther south down towards Columbia Boulevard. We do have one trouble spot over in the Hollywood district. I'll show you that camera. We've got a tow truck now with this crash scene. This is at 33rd Avenue. The on-ramp to westbound I-84. A little slow getting around that. No word on any injuries, by the way, with this crash, but as you can see, traffic seems to be getting around. Right now, your drive times are really, really in good shape. For this hour of a Monday morning commute, we could do a lot worse. 21 minutes now, the trip from Troutdale to the I-5 split. Drew?
Kind of crazy to think, Chris, 2 weeks from now, you're going to be talking about school buses out there on the road. We are talking about the KGW School Supply Drive here. All month long, this is happening. And today starts a great opportunity for you to donate right at the register of local Safeway and Albertsons stores. In fact, when you donate at a local Safeway or Albertsons, your donation stays right in that neighborhood, supporting neighborhood school districts. Also this week, Rick's Custom Fencing, matching the first $5,000 donated to the school supply drive. So we say thank you, Rick's Custom Fencing, and thank you, Safeway, and thank you, On Point Community Credit Union, for backing this year's KGW School Supply Drive.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In our top stories this morning, police took a man into custody last night after a 2-hour standoff in southeast Portland. It started when police say a man called 911 to report that a woman was dead inside a home near southeast 170th and Harrison. When officers got there, they found the woman's body and the man barricaded inside the home. The man came out on his own and was taken into custody around 9 o'clock. Portland police are looking for the driver who hit a bicyclist on their way to Bridge Pedal on Sunday morning on the Morrison Bridge. The cyclist was seriously injured but is expected to survive. Police have released this image of the truck involved in the crash. We're told the suspect's car is believed to be a white Toyota pickup truck with black wheels and no license plate. And some metro area counties opened cooling centers and extended library hours in response to today's extreme heat warning. In Clackamas County, cooling centers are open countywide. In Washington County, libraries and splash pads are open to the public. And in Multnomah County, cooling centers were not open Sunday, but hours were extended at some local libraries.
And this is day 2 of our extreme weather warning from our friends at the Weather Service. This will be up through the day tomorrow. You see the impact alert red there. 99, maybe 100 in Portland today, 96, maybe 98 tomorrow. And then all confidence that we have a high only in the low 80s on Wednesday, and by Thursday, we've cooled back into the 70s. So we got to get through today, we got to get through tomorrow.
Air conditioner was already running this morning. All right, the drive. I got 4 cameras up for you, and the good news is we look at all of them. The drive's actually moving along. We could do a lot worse than this on a Monday morning. Here's a look at your drive on the west side, inbound Sunset, 20 minutes from Hillsborough, on the east side, 21 minutes from Troutdale. And the I-5 drive has cleared out in Clark County. The end of the line now on I-5 southbound has worked its way south of Columbia Boulevard.
All right, how about this story, gang, for all you coffee drinkers out there?
That's me.
That's me.
I know it is. I know. So listen, maybe you know about this. There's been some concern online recently about contaminants in coffee. The nonprofit Clean Label Project looked into this. They tested 45 popular coffee brands for pesticides, heavy metals, other types of toxins. What they found was minimal contaminants. Now, I wanted to hear zero. I was hoping zero contaminants, but apparently minimal is a good thing. They say coffee was actually, this company that did the testing said coffee was one of the cleanest products they've ever studied.
Really?
Yes, and in previous studies, you may have heard this before, 3 cups of black coffee a day has been linked to health benefits. Things like lower risks for heart disease, diabetes, and stroke.
I don't believe that.
You don't?
Every year it changes.
We'll have a conflicting study tomorrow morning.
Yes, coffee is great for you. It's going to make you live longer. Coffee's going to make you die. It's going to take 5 years off your life.
You know what cannot be argued?
Changes every year.
Don't drink right now. Chocolate, coffee. Yeah.
6 cups, though, makes you turn into Superman.
What cannot be argued?
Daily.
The Sunrise Show is good for you every single day of the week. So we expect to see you here tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of Sunrise.